are these people?
There are some other articles in the lightning round that I wanted to share with everyone. I'm not going to read through them. I'm just going to show you the headlines, and I'll put the links in the Substack afterwards, so you can click and read them for yourself. This is a long article, of which I agree with most of it. It's a very well-researched article. There's a ton of receipts and footnotes here. But this fingers the Ford Foundation. We've talked about the Ford Foundation before as part of being part of the, what do you call the NGO complex, or the not-for-profit industrial complex, right? But they're actually a global, a fork-tongued global mafia front. And he's got receipts upon receipts here. Again, you may not like all the language that he uses. You may not like the perspective that he has. But in documenting exactly who they've aligned with and what they've supported and what they've funded, there's no doubt this guy has a lot of receipts that you should take a look at. Next, I want to watch this very quick video about a girl
up in a 24-hour Planet Fitness parking lot.
Waking up in a 24-hour fitness. Wait, hold on. Let me go back to the beginning here. And as Reef likes to say, action.
I live in my 2006 Honda Accord, and this is what it's like to wake up in a 24-hour Planet Fitness parking lot. I start by getting dressed, and then the longest part of my morning routine is always taking down all of my window coverings, but they are essential for sleeping in my car, so I do it anyways. Then I climb over into the driver's seat and take down my window coverings there. I actually already went into this Planet Fitness last night to take a shower, for all of you who say that I don't shower. So this morning I can go ahead and leave straight away and drive to Panera Bread. But first, the bathroom. Obviously, I used the restroom and washed my hands. I brushed my teeth in my car. I don't know, like, that's weird to show on camera. I don't know why y'all are asking to see that. Anyways, now it's time to drink my hot bean juice to wake up and get some computer work done. So I use this as an opportunity to charge some of my electronics, and here I'm actually editing a YouTube video, so if you haven't already, be sure to go subscribe over there. I live in my 2006 Honda Accord in this.
So that is by choice, but what she says is, somebody asked, van life? She says, van life used to be a choice, now it's survival. YouTube, TikTok, people filming their struggle just to make a few bucks while sleeping in their car. America turned into the Truman Show, and the rent is the villain. And then you got a lot of people that are like, you know, get a job, and this is the choice, and there's plenty of opportunity, all the bootlicker, capitalist bootlickers. But the point is that the cost... capitalism. Right? The cost of living is forcing people to make these choices. The lack of available affordable housing is forcing people to decide that it might be better to try to live out of their car and deal with the displacement and all the other things that you have to deal with not having an address, living out of a car with a P.O. box, and showering where you can, and grabbing internet where you can. Yes, Sean, the Who Man show, not the True Man show. It's really sad that people are resorting to this. All right, so I'll put that link in the description. Also, the Honest Broker, I like to call this guy Ted Gioia. I like to call him the mayor of Substack. He's the #1 music subscribed on Substack. He writes about jazz, but he also writes about other stuff. And in this case, it matters to us. It matters to all of us, because this is about DMCA takedowns. And this guy, Rick Beato. That's really kind of funny, because the day before Ted wrote this, Reef sent me a video about Rick Beato. And there's a video here about how the record label is trying to silence him because he does react videos, all right? And on a 42-second video on Olivia Rodrigo, he included 10 seconds of a song, but Universal Music Group still charged him with a copyright violation, although it certainly seems straightforward as fair use. He pushes back, successfully defends his fair use rights, but he's got to now have like a full-time lawyer. He gets a ton of these every day.
He literally has to pay a full-time lawyer
to handle the endless stream of infringement claims. He's won repeatedly, but maybe that's what's getting the label so upset. We've successfully fought thousands of these now, he said. All right. So this is a really interesting article, and it affects every single live streamer and content creator that you know that uses any kind of copyrighted material, even for reaction purposes. And we're going to go be doing one of those next on boats smashing into other boats. So we certainly are worried about that. Now, the last thing I wanted to rant and rave about a little bit is about a guy that I've done a lot of advocating for on this show. And I got to be honest and I got to be fair. You know, we platformed Matt Taibbi a ton. Bracket News, advocated for his outlet, giving them an Indie Media Award. But this shit cannot stand. I cannot stand by quietly, and I haven't been. I've been openly critical of Matt, of his unwillingness to address Gaza, and the few times he does, he tepidly says he doesn't want to address it because he's got a rabid Zionist following that he does not want to alienate and lose paid subscribers to. He can claim that it's anything else. It's audience capture, straight up. People claim, oh, you're jealous. I don't give a fuck. Look, I've been a big fan of this guy. The problem is that he's sold out on the independents. He's sold out on all the principles that he claimed to hold true. He's sold out on the Palestinian journalists who are being murdered by U.S. bombs and Israel, and silent on Israel, which, by the way, I said earlier, silence is complicity. He is absolutely 100% complicit in not amplifying every week that the United States is aiding and abetting Israel in murdering journalists in Palestine that are trying to report the truth. This truth teller, this protector of the truth, is showing who the fuck he is. Now, he got really excited.
Which a lot of people have argued that it was always what he was.
And some people feel that way, that he shit all over people who questioned 9/11. And he was wrong there as well. But Malcolm Gladwell admitted to, being bullied by the trans lobby and kind of recanted some of the stuff he talked about DEI. And Matt, of course, was excited to hear that because he had exposed Gladwell a couple of years ago, and they had a debate a couple of years ago. And again, it's all about his ego. So it's ironic that this happened in the same week that Gladwell admitted he wasn't packing anything down there. The set on Barry Weiss is visible from space, and that's why she's getting paid.
Okay. Who the fuck cares? Like,
right? So I said, Barry Weiss is a Netanyahu toady. Now she's going to go work for Israel's #1 supporter and CIA Larry Ellison's son, pushing her disgusting, genocidal, mental gymnastics about Israel across a multitude of channels and platforms. Prepare to have it shoved down our throats at every possible turn. Now across all of CBS and Paramount. The worst people truly do fail upwards. This timeline sucks ass. I know, Matt, you don't claim to follow this closely, but Alan McLeod has been running laps around some people who claim to be about fighting and exposing censorship by the big platforms on social media. Alan had 3 weeks ago in here that Skydance was looking at buying the free press and making Barry ombudsman over CBS News. We already knew that. All right. And then, of course, you always have somebody that tries to step in and play Captain Savo. Israel are the fucking terrorists, period. But it didn't stop there, because I then remind people Barry is a genocidal lying cunt, and now so is Matt. Matt's an apologist for a genocidal lying cunt. He repeatedly spreads the debunked October 7th rape hoax, which got me a violation by Twitter. Thank you very much.
Twitter.
We all know what this is and who the Ellison family serves, and it ain't the American people. All right? So, yeah, this post may violate X's rules against hateful content. Taibbi was taking L's everywhere. Fuck Twitter's right. Taking L's everywhere thanks to that Netanyahu toady. He doesn't realize that he's mainstream now. He ignores Israel. He ignores Epstein. He ignores ICE raids. He brags about siding with Douglas Murray. By the way, that Malcolm Gladwell debate, it was Taibbi and Douglas Murray against Gladwell and some other asshole. And oh yeah, his podcast, Walter Kern, is also a MAGA Zionist. And oh yeah, he still goes on with Bill fucking Maher, also a Zionist. Is Fox News calling? Like, this guy practically has a Fox News show. Because someone actually said, I'm waiting for Taibbi on NBC or ABC primetime. If anything, it would be on CBS with Barry. Maybe he's shilling for a time slot.
Right.
All right. You may as well have a Fox News show. Somebody reminds me that in his description that he describes himself as the author of The Insane Clown President, I Can't Breathe, Spanking the Donkey, and Smells Like Dead Elephants. Those are some of his wonderful titles. Right? And then he's stepping all over his Zionist dick today. I said, you're bragging about siding with Douglas fucking Murray and exposed Zionist propagandists who got humiliated about it by Dave Smith, a certified moron. Yoink, Scoob. May want to sit this one out. All right? Barry Weiss, Douglas Murray, Walter Kurd, just surrounding yourself with murderous Israel simps. Your silence is complicity, Matt. Mask off. We all see it now. Your chat here. His chat on Substack has a collection of the most unhinged, genocide-denying, bloodthirsty, anti-Muslim bigots that push Rabbi Shmuley's bullshit Hasbara talking points. Pathetic mask-off moments in 24 hours, destroying decades of reputation, known as somebody who had integrity as an independent. All right, again, Matt trying to backtrack. All these people who think I'm a cheerleader for Israel are out of their minds. July 11th. All right. I oppose the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act because it affected you. I oppose the Trump anti-Semitism executive order defining criticism of Israel as discriminatory. And I said, I don't think the
That's
U.S.
not enough. Bare minimum position.
All of these. All right. They shouldn't be sending money or weapons to Israel. Great. And I'm against the catch and deport practices for speech offenses. But that's not enough for the pro-Palestine crowd. No, it's not. Because they're literally murdering journalists and you're silent. Apparently, I'm also supposed to salute a range of other issues. And if I don't, I'm a genocide apologist. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
You'd rather annoy the fuck out of a possible supporter than allow for some level of ambiguity.
Which is the same bullshit you've been trying to fucking tout forever. You just don't want to be told what to do, and it shows. So every time it's like, oh, I talk about it, but I should be able to not talk about it if I want to. That's what your fucking childish ass has been doing.
I remind him that silence is complicity. This isn't just about how it affects censorship here, which is all he really cares about. Stop Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, happening here. Oppose Trump anti-Semitism executive order, here. All right? Shouldn't be sending U.S. money. That's affecting the U.S. You selfish fucking prick. How about all the people that are getting murdered by U.S. money and bombs? You don't give a fuck about any of them. How about all the people in the UK getting arrested for supporting Palestine action? Doesn't give a fuck about them either. Fuck this guy. If you
didn't give a fuck about anybody other than his own shit, which is exactly what he looked up in the Twitter files, all the shit that affected him.
And therefore, the answer is BDS. He's going to support this shit. He's not going to call it out. We don't subscribe to his paid publication anymore. He can fuck off. I was an annual paid subscriber to Racket News for 3 years. I canceled my subscription on July 12th. And it'll be good through the end of the year. I'll probably just start republishing his paid subscriber only articles just to fuck him over because he's a douchebag. But
don't even do that.
Well, it just hurts his revenue because people who might want to see it would have to pay to see it. Now they'll get it for free. That would be the only reason for doing it. Anyway, so that was Matt Taibbi being a douchebag and siding with Barry Weiss. And it's because they were in the Twitter files together, right? So they have kindred stuff there. And because Barry Weiss built a successful Substack publication, and maybe Matt wants private equity to eventually knock on his door and give him $100 million for Racket News. He's not doing that out of the goodness of his heart. He's doing it for fucking money. He wants to get paid. And I think that he's bragging and spiking the football about Barry because he wants to have some of that come his way. Be like, guys, I've been playing ball and sacrificing my pro-Palestine audience to make sure that this was another outlet you might want to buy. And roll into CBS News or maybe part of NBC for all we know. Fuck this guy is all I'm saying. I'm done with Matt Taibbi, and I hope most people are too. I understand if you don't want to be, but he's not your friend. And he's not a friend of the truth, and he's not a friend of anti-censorship or free speech. It's just when it directly affects him, which is kind of like a Republican in a way. Like, he can say he's not a classic Republican or a shitlib, a corporate shitlib, which is why he gets invited to appear on corporate shitlib TV. So let's get to some real people now. People like Chanda. Now, our friend Chanda said she officially started round 2 irradiation to treat small cell lung tumors in both her femur bones and ribs today. She got 4 zaps to the ribs and to the left leg. She's really in pain. All right. They can't even start chemo until her insurance approves it. Can't believe how much the pain's increased. Thank you to those who have held us up. It's been over a year. So if you're able to, here is Chanda's GoFundMe. Please support her with a couple of bucks. We'd really appreciate it.
Money, please.
Then we've also got the situation that's going on with Anthony Malecki's sister-in-law, Nataliya. Nataliya came to the U.S. with her daughter to pursue a better life, fleeing an abusive ex-husband who threatened to kill her. Her entire family's here, and now she's being abused by a fascist police state that's torturing her for the profits of the prison industrial complex, and now wants to separate her from her daughter, send her back to Ukraine, and put her daughter into foster care. Nataliya has lived here legally for almost 10 years while working as a box truck driver and raising her daughter. She was, as we know, taken into ICE custody after a traffic stop over registration that wasn't even expired. Now they're moving to separate her from her child by removing her from the U.S. This is serious. The family needs urgent help. While living here, she had applied for her green card. She was paying taxes and doing everything right. But this is what happens when Ohio sheriffs turn traffic stops into deportation pipelines for profit. All right, Descent in Bloom, who contributed to this stream tonight, just donated to her family's fundraiser, as have we. Please share this GoFundMe first and foremost so more people see it. And if you're able to donate even a little, it helps. And this is the GoFundMe. She's over $1,500. Anything that anybody can do to help, it really does make a big difference. And these had dried up for a couple of weeks. I know Natalie Williams, friend of the show, friend of the network, big supporter of ours, also has been sharing this and trying to help our brother Anthony get the word out there. Cowboy Kitty. And then Keith McHenry. Food Not Bombs Keith McHenry. This is a story about the Taylor Street Navigation Center. So they've been doing homeless sweeps in San Jose. And these are like the tents that they're now offering people in a tent city like that. That if you refuse to discard your property and move into this hot camp, you get sent to jail for trespassing. They're prison camps. San Jose, California, happening right now. Keith McHenry. So, new tent site for San Jose's homeless faces criticism from advocates and residents. So this is a news report from NBC. Right, a homeless shelter designed to connect people to permanent housing will open on Taylor Street in San Jose. The shelter, which is the first of its kind in the Bay Area, all right, will provide each person with a tent and access to services. However, the site faces criticism from both advocates and local residents. It's going to be hotter than hell, literally, and the mayor thinks it's a great idea for the tents. I hope it actually helps, but at the same time, I wish it wasn't as close to the houses and families, all the NIMBYs. The new safe sleeping site is modeled after a similar initiative in San Diego. Of course, they've got 10-degree or 15-degree warmer climate. Residents there filed a federal lawsuit claiming the tents reached internal temperatures of over 100 degrees. Again, read this thing from Keith McHenry. So I'll put that link in the description. I talked earlier tonight about Indie News Now. This is the website that you would go to. That's got the news there. It also, again, has our live stream under the Watch Live. It also has access to our merch store. We just put a link up there. And then the Keep the News Free, which is where you would be able to hook us up with a Stripe link or click here or here to go to the merch store. So the merch store, we've now linked over to the newer merch store so you can get your goods there. I know Lisa Tyree, right, for example, she's ordered the sticker that was when people are occupied, resistance is justified, and that's now being shipped and on its way to her, from what Ryan told me.
Look at my shirt, little bitch.
Yeah, these are cool. These INN t-shirts are badass. So I would definitely recommend. $20. I mean, we're keeping the price as low as possible. So, all right, we're going to go to Boats, support independent media. Before we get out of here, support the independent media you want to see. Cash App, $, Indie News Network, code-fee.com/Indie News Network, paypal.me/Indie News Network, IndieNewsNow.com, INNNewsletter.com. We're about to go live there for Boat Smashing and Other Boats, and IndieMediaToday.com, where we have been live for the last couple hours. Support independent media because we need it more than ever. I love you all, and see you soon, everyone. Have a good night.
Mwah. Ciao, baby.
We go party.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say?
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days, and I still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to say. And when they told you everything was safe, were you safe? Were you safe?